Dr. Yusuf, we are just discussing primarily the 2018 counterterrorism efforts, but also in the broader perspective of when the war started back in 2002. From Washington, what exactly is the scenario in terms of how people feel about Pakistan's counterterrorism efforts in the last 16 years?
Thank you, Ijaz. I mean, you're asking me to reflect on what Washington thinks, so I'm going to give you that without passing a value judgment on that. Essentially, the view in the U.S. is that Pakistan has done a lot of things that have been very useful. So unfortunately, I mean, you ask what the view is, and the view is, fairly negative, if not decidedly negative on this. Now, I would also add, and this is the analytical part, that there's been a very simple problem from day one. The goals of the two sides and how they saw Project Afghanistan sort of proceeding have been divergent. The American interest in the beginning was Al-Qaeda. Pakistan and the U.S. worked together. There is no other country that's done more on that with the U.S. When it came to the Taliban, the interests diverged. And they diverged because Pakistan's ultimate hope was that you'd have the moderate Taliban in the mix in Afghanistan. You would have India largely out of Afghanistan so that there's no threat for Pakistan from the western border. And you would have an American sort of association in terms of economic support, but not necessarily major bases sitting there which Pakistan feels may be threatening its nuclear program, etc. The U.S. interest, of course, was a new project. It was a modern Afghan state that would become an ally in an otherwise turbulent region, and over time also for the establishment, military bases, military presence, and thus the strategic interest in a region where they have a lot of foes and competitors. And those two could never converge because they were inherently contradictory to each other in terms of the interests of U.S. and Pakistan. So that's why you have this negative view. Quite frankly, I think if Pakistan did everything that the U.S. asked, the U.S. would have praised Pakistan much more. There perhaps would have been more resistance, but the backlash in Pakistan may have been more, even more. And if the U.S. did everything Pakistan asked, it would be going directly against its largest strategic picture in which it wants India to become the counterweight to China. So this is realist politics. This is essentially realpolitik at its best. Machiavellian states pretending that their interests converge, but they really never did.